Nick Brignola is a baritone saxophone player from New York. He was born in 1936 to a musical family. His dad was a tuba player and his uncle was a banjo player. He recorded his first album with Pepper Adams in 1977 and recorded 11 studio albums from that time until 1993. He died in 2002 of cancer. Nick Brignola had a varied musical career, playing with people like Miles, Monk, Buddy Rich. He extensively toured with Ted Curzon in the 60s. In 1981, Nick Brignola was nominated for a Grammy for his album LA Bound. He lost out to Bill Evans' trio. It was in the category of Best Jazz Instrumental Performance Group. The thing that attracts me most to Nick Brignola's playing is his sound. It's very raw, and not many other baritone players have this type of sound. He plays in a bop style, utilizing a lot of altered sounds, varied rhythm, uh, language, and motivic playing. The piece we're going to be looking at today is Joy Spring. Uh, Nick recorded this in 1989 for his album Rain Check. Let's have a look in some more depth. If we take his opening phrase, we can see he is utilizing the altered scale, the B flat being the flat 9, the C being the sharp 9, the D flat being the major third, and the F being the flat 13. In Nick Brignola's first chorus, we see him outlining the guide tone lines in the first few bars, playing thirds, sevenths, flat 5, root, flat 13. There's a very nice shape to that first phrase. We then see some motivic playing in the G minor C7 bar, F sharp minor 7, F7 bar. This is then expanded and runs into the second A, which, as we know in Joy Spring, is up a semitone, but with the same changes. He plays a really nice pentatonic phrase going into the second chorus, which is a 2/5 in E flat major. In the second A of the first chorus, we see quite a lot of nice rhythmic playing. He makes a little bit of a thing of starting on the off of 1 in a few of the bars. This gives quite a lot of forward momentum. In the bridge, he really outlines the harmonic movement of the E major to E minor A7. Really sets up E major in the first bar and very much makes it obvious the change, highlighting the G sharp to G movement. He also does this in the next bar with D major going to D minor. This bridge is very diatonic. He rarely strays outside of the chord changes, but he still keeps it really interesting with a nice sense of style. In the last day of the first chorus, he continues to sound quite diatonic and makes quite a heavy use of the turnaround. This sound is quite apparent in many saxophonists playing as it lends itself to the instrument. As we move on to his second chorus, we see that he starts to make use of his altissimo. Altissimo is the range above what is standard of a saxophone, which is heavily reliant upon harmonics. It sounds quite waily, but I think it's really nice. It sort of lends itself to I equate it to the crack in your voice between your lower voice and your falsetto. The second chorus continues in the same fashion as the first, playing a lot of uh, bebop style lines with great rhythmic intent. The last bar of the second day is a really nice 2/5 lick and really sets up the E major sound in the bridge. We then hear some more altissimo playing with a really nice phrase that really highlights Nick Brignola's amazing technical facility on his instrument. In the last day, Nick plays a really nice phrase involving triplets. This gives the piece quite a lot of forward momentum. He then plays a nice motivic figure which he expands, and then we see him use the full range of the instrument, going down to a low B flat and then starting the third chorus on a low A, the lowest note on a baritone saxophone. The third chorus starts with a really nice rhythmic figure in groups of threes, and he's still really playing off the guide tones, very much outlining the harmony. Even when he plays out, it's still very controlled. He spends much of this chorus in the upper range of the baritone saxophone. This is probably because this is where the baritone cuts through the most. If you play quite low on a baritone, it can sometimes be quite murky as the frequencies mix too much with what the bass player is playing. The last day of the third chorus, Nick opens with a really nice melodic phrase, which he then goes on to play some nice eighth notes outlining the harmony and finishing his phrase, which then leads to the bass solo. This solo, I feel, is quite apt of Nick Brignola's playing, in a lot of his albums he plays very raucously, uh, and has an amazing technical facility which he really implements and shows on this track. The rest of the album is scattered with ballads and other up-tempo pieces and original music by Nick Brignola. I chose this piece as it was something that has been quite inspiring to me. It's got a lot of great language which I'm trying to implement in my playing. And he's got great sound and a great feel.